The reviews are very good in Britain, right?
Yeah.
Almost surprisingly good, because Ken Loach got sometimes beaten because of he was anti-English.
Well, you haven't read all the English reviews.
In 1819 kwamen tienduizenden mensen naar Manchester, naar St. Petersfield, om te demonstreren voor meer democratie. Het leger en de politie greep keihard in, met als gevolg 18 doden en meer dan 600 gewonden. Maar weinig Britten weten over deze zwarte bladzijde uit de geschiedenis. Maar daar gaat Mike Leigh met zijn film Peterloo nu een einde aan maken.
In this film, we see that there was a horrifically unjust world where you could be hanged for stealing a coat. Is that historically correct?
All those three cases are absolutely the exact cases that those actual magistrates tried exactly. Totally right. I mean, people were hanged or transported to Australia for the most minor offences.
Yeah, even beyond minor.
Beyond minor, yeah, absolutely.
We are on the brink of liberty.
We demand that our sufferings cease.
Now is the time for action. Now!
The corrupt order will come crashing down!
Liberty or death! Liberty or death! Liberty or death! Liberty or death!
You're from Manchester, so this is sort of a personal project, I believe?
It is, although the interesting thing is this, that I and a lot of people who grew up in the Manchester Northwest, in the Manchester area, including a lot of people who worked on the film, some from as young as their 20s right through to people of my age, and I'm in my mid-70s, grew up in the area but not really knowing about it. We weren't taught about it in school, and I lived from where you could get a bus from our house to where it happened in 15 minutes, so it's very close. I knew nothing about it, really.
Did you know about the massacre?
I did.
You did?
I did. You see, I'm part of the Peterloo Memorial Committee. So we have every year in Manchester, it's celebrated. We have a memorial sort of service where people go and read the names of the dead. It's been happening probably now for the last sort of 10 years. So I was part of...
And you've been a member for the last 10 years?
No, probably the last sort of 5 years. I mean, I knew about Peterloo, but I didn't actually know that this event went on. It was always quite small. But interestingly, I think it's probably to do with what's happening politically in Britain. Every year now, it gets bigger and bigger. So we had about 400. We started off with about 20 people on a street corner. Now it's about 400 people turn up, 400 to 500 people.
And you were one of the 20. Why were you one of the 20?
Because I don't think a lot of people knew about it. People didn't really know.
And it is important for us to know.
Yeah, it's very important for us to know. I feel it's very important for us to be very aware of our history, especially sort of our working class social history. We've taught a lot in British schools about the kings and queens and monarchy and the ruling classes, but not about, the working man struggle.
Good people give ear, since times are so hard. My song to the poor, it doth pay some regard. For trade being dead, I'm weaving at a fall. And I hope in a few months, it will make amends for all.
The film has a much wider universal currency than just remembering what happened 200 years ago in Manchester. It resonates with all kinds of things that are happening globally, which is all about the malfunction of democracy. Why are there millions of people, refugees in South America and coming out of the Middle East and Africa? Why? Because of democratic processes having put people in power who then renege on their democratic responsibilities, etc. So, at one level, sure, this film will remind people in Britain about this event, but it has a wider remit.
There's lots of speeches in the film. Is it also a bit about the power of talk,
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah. I think oration, isn't it? And I think that's the beauty of it, that Mike has left those big speeches in. We get to see the importance of dialogue, of communication, of transferring those political ideas. And I think with Nellie's character, it's interesting. For me, I felt she wanted, universal suffrage more than anybody, but it just felt to her it was a lot of men doing that, and she felt if the women were in charge, it would be a bit more to the point.
Now that's very today, by the way.